just like going to the beach. Always best to leave 10 minutes early than 10 minutes late.
Is that right? I never knew that.
Yeah. You know when you go to the beach with the kids and then go, can we stay a bit longer? No, always leave 10 minutes. Easier, better to leave 10 minutes early than 10 minutes late. Now clearly I'm...
Strap yourself in for Keeping It Real with Jac Ral.
Let me read you a text message we got from a keeper.
Oh.
It says the
Is
freedom
it good?
Yes.
Just checking.
I don't read out the shit ones.
We have had no shit ones.
The freedom that comes from the moment where you truly accept and understand that your job is transactional is incredibly freeing. Thanks for such an attitude-changing soundbite. Bloody love keeping it real.
Oh, what a great keeper.
So that comes from
Thank
our
you, keeper.
episode around work.
Yeah.
You know, something about work.
Yeah. We talk a lot about work. Hey, but it's very relevant for our next episode, which is this episode. Is it time to change jobs?
Yes. So welcome.
Who are you?
Welcome to Keeping It Real. I am Gabrielle Dolan.
And I am Jac Phillips, and this is Keeping It Real.
Yes. So is it time to change jobs? So this is I think this came actually from a keeper who suggested this one. How do you know?
But how relevant. You just read that fabulous message out that came from one of our keepers talking about.
It's like we plan this stuff.
Who knew? What do you always say? Structured, not scripted.
Not scripted. I think I've said when Mum goes, "Do your practice?" and I was like, "Does it sound like we practice?"
We just could talk underwater.
And she actually said it does. So there you go.
Your mum's kind. So is it time to change jobs? And given work is work, it is a transaction. It is not your entire identity, and it should never, ever form your only success measure in life. I'm a big believer in that. However, it's pretty important. It earns us an income. It gives us, a lot of connection. It gives us purpose. But things are changing, Ral.
Yeah.
You used to have 30-year careers. I'm reading some stuff and they're talking about 50-year careers. But they're talking about the future of work and the whole nature of jobs being so different, yeah? There's not going to be titles. There might be descriptions.
Yeah.
And we're going to do so much ad hoc work and so much remote work. I don't know about you, but you and I both have portfolio careers, right? So we do a whole lot of different things.
Yep.
We earn money from a whole lot of different revenue streams. We're the best bosses we ever had. Mm-hmm. But I remember being in corporate and there were some red flags that said to me, ooh, I think it's time to change jobs. This is before somebody might tap you on the shoulder about another role or before you get that promotion you're going to get. It's when you're just sort of, swimming along, nothing much is happening, and then 2 or 3 things happen, you go, ooh, I wonder if I'm meant to be here much longer.
Yeah. And you know what? I just thought when you were talking then about,
I could tell you were thinking because you were very quiet.
And I was listening.
You were not listening, you were thinking.
We talk about, we just sort of used change jobs and change careers intermittently then.
Yeah, we did.
And the point is, because I remember when I worked at National Australia Bank, I was there for 17 years and I would say I reckon I changed jobs about 6 or 7 times.
Yep.
But I changed careers about 3 times in the same company.
Fabulous.
So I think it could be, is it time to change jobs? And it could be in the same company, but you want to move. Is it time to change careers?
Great question.
Or is it time to change companies?
Or is it time to change from a he to a they?
What? That's just gone random.
Just threw it in. Thought I'd be a bit woke for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time to change and decide we want to get cancelled.
Oops. Don't go there. So is it time to change jobs? Is it time to change careers?
Yeah. Or is it time to change companies or industries or whatever it is, right?
Point is change. That is
when do you know?
word.
I think it is when do you know. So you, Jac, you coach people.
I do.
And I would imagine a lot of people you're coaching through a change of jobs or careers or some transitions. So let's start with, so what we want to do in this episode is talk about, well, when do you know? And then once you do know or you think you know, what are some next steps? So why don't we start with, how do you know?
Yeah, how do you know? There's a great quote and I've put it on LinkedIn a few times. It's always had great connection and it's, how you feel on Sunday night about Monday
is a very good indication.
Is a very good indicator.
I think that, if we're going to go through some specific things, but overall, if you're there Sunday afternoon or Sunday night
dreading Monday. But can I put a caveat there? that might happen every now and again, and that's okay because you've got a big presentation you're nervous about Monday, or you're going to have a difficult conversation. So your Sunday night that particular weekend might be feeling a bit off. But if you are feeling every Sunday night that you're dreading Monday coming, then it's time to change.
And that's, I think the word is, it's dread.
Careers.
It's anxious.
Absolutely.
It's like,
I read a great quote and it said, working on goals you don't believe in with people you don't like is not your future.
So say that again.
Working on goals you don't believe in with people you don't like is not a sustainable future.
No, that's almost, I have a saying,
depressing,
a positive, do work you love with people you like.
How good.
And if you got that.
And do you think everyone has that choice?
Not all the time, but I think, and you know what, maybe it's not work you love. Like some people go, I wouldn't say I love my job, but I like it. I go, that's enough.
You don't have to
It's good enough. So even like do work you like with people you like. I always also add the way you want.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got all those sorted.
3, you are thriving, absolutely thriving. I think you do have choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I coach people and they say, I can't leave this awful boss in this awful industry, in this awful job because I'm paying a mortgage. And I say, well, you've actually still got choices. You absolutely have choices. But if you're going to tell yourself you can't, then you won't.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking it's awful and not enjoying it, I've got a feeling they might not love you either. So be careful because you're not in control.
Yeah.
And that's always a worry. So is it time to change jobs? We say the following are some leading indicators, okay?
Let's go through them in no particular order.
In no particular order. And what would be good is as you're listening to this, Keepers, make a note of how many you nod or tick to. Yeah?
That's a good idea.
Because we are going to get you to do a little audit. Yeah. So
rate on 1 to 10.
yeah, maybe something
So
like
we've
that.
started with how do you feel on Sunday night?
How do you feel on Sunday night? And is that a one-off?
Shit. 10. Yeah, okay.
Is it one-off or is it every Sunday night?
Yep.
So that's important to have that context. Okay. What if you're in a role and you're not learning? You've been in that role a little while and you are just not learning anything more. That, I think, is an indicator.
I think it's an indicator because you know what I find is when people they're not learning anything, they become a bit stale and you're sort of, I think
boring as well.
Boring. And it sort of affects your attitude.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does. And also, it's a competitive world, right?
Yeah.
The job market is competitive. So if you're not learning, you're definitely not winning, and other people who are learning are going to pass you by.
Yeah.
So if you're not learning, that's an indicator.
And I would actually say that you've got a lot of control on that because
Total
you can
control.
be learning. Like I often think,
control.
like just say, for example, AI now, it was like that's going to affect any future role.
Already
So if
affecting.
you're feeling you're not learning, you should be
Already
doing
in
that, like
Correct.
learning stuff.
There's so many courses
yeah.
you could do. But also companies have budgets for training and development. As a leader, I used to love it when my team would say, hey, Jack, can we get Ral in to do something on storytelling? Hey, Jack, we're really keen to understand, the new brand metrics, econometrics that are happening. Can we get somebody to come in and chat to us about that? Or can we start? It's like, yes.
Yeah.
Some of it doesn't cost. I know someone who can come in and chat to us about this.
Yeah.
We'll get them a bottle of wine if that was appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, so not learning. What about not getting promoted? You're sitting there, you're working hard, you're getting great feedback, and maybe you're getting your bonuses and your incentives, and you're expecting promotion, and it's sort of being dangled, but it's not happening for whatever reason.
Yeah, you're being overlooked. And look, and I think if that's if this is happening constantly and you don't know why, then that could be a sign that this isn't the right place for
role,
you.
or you don't have the right leader coaching you and helping you develop.
Yeah. I think I've shared the story before in one of my very early jobs where I used to get in trouble all the time for having too much fun and being told off that I was not paid to be the office clown. And I got overlooked for a promotion. And it was like a supervisor role.
Yeah.
And I know it because they thought I wasn't serious because, God forbid, I was having fun. And that made me leave. Now, I didn't leave straight away, but that was the decision. I thought, this is not right for me.
No, so what you're talking about there is definitely a misalignment of culture and of values, I think, there, yeah? So they couldn't recognise.
How could they not think I'm funny? Well, actually,
I have no idea, Ral.
well, they did think they thought I was too funny.
What about, I've been in roles where I've been bored shitless. I'm just not excited anymore, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not being challenged. I'm not engaged. Maybe I'm not learning either, but it's actually just not. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. And I've taken jobs knowing this probably isn't going to be much fun.
Yeah.
But it's a job and I need the money and it'll do.
That's always
better than being unemployed.
That's your first
and then
problem,
realising
isn't it? Yeah.
it is, and then realising actually no, this is not me.
But if you're bored, it probably means you're not being challenged, which means you're not being given opportunity. So people your leader isn't seeing the potential you have. That can all, it's sort of all linked, isn't it?
It's a good point. What about clashing with somebody? Yeah, particularly your leader, not respecting them. That is an indicator.
There you go. Well, what's the famous saying? People don't leave organisations;
No,
they leave
managers.
They leave their manager. That's what they leave.
It's very true.
My husband Steve, he after a 26-year career,
I remember that.
he loved his job.
Yeah, he was good at his
loved
job.
his team. He was very good at his job. In the end, he was pushed out.
Yep.
Literally out
Because
of corporate
of
life
a
because
person.
of a person.
Yep.
Who was subsequently got rid of
Yes.
about 6 months after
Later.
he left.
Yeah.
Because as we've talked about in toxic leadership,
Yeah.
all the good people leave under
course.
them, and then finally
Somebody realises.
someone above them realizes, oh my God.
We're losing talent because of one
because
toxic person. So clashing, not respecting your leader. What about when you're overwhelmed? You just can never see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if you do, it's an oncoming train. You are so burnt out. it's affecting your health. It's affecting your relationships. It's affecting your family. That is a leading indicator that it might be time to change jobs, it's overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's
and no
unsustainable.
support from a leader, no support from team members.
Can I put a caveat on that though? Because I know some people that every single job they go in,
They're
overwhelmed and they're burnt out, and they go, oh my God, I'm working 14 hours, and then they get sick of it and they go, I need to find a new job that's not doing this, and I can guarantee you
So that's about
within
them.
3 months they're still doing
Absolutely.
that. So that's about them. So
lack of self-awareness
again,
on their
if
part.
if you're feeling burnt out and overwhelmed,
And regularly feel that in every job.
every job I do, I do feel this.
Yeah.
I
think
need
it's
to have
time
a
to
look,
look at me.
have a look
Yeah,
at you.
absolutely.
If this is like, oh God, I've never worked this long work before, and I feel like I have to, then that's an unsustainable.
Absolutely. But that is a very good point. So self-awareness is really critical here as you're doing this quick audit. Misalignment of values. We just spoke about that. You enjoy a good laugh. That engaged your team. It actually made you very successful. But for some people, that wasn't serious enough for them.
Yeah.
They saw leadership as being serious. So there is a misalignment of culture and of values.
Yep.
So if you feel that you've got that, I mean, I'm coaching somebody at the moment, and they are somebody who's very generous. They share. They like people being updated. They're a very good communicator, and they're working for somebody who holds information. There's a real lack of transparency, and it's killing this person. That is a misalignment.
That can sometimes happen when you've got a job and, you really like your job, and then you've got a new manager come in, and then all of a sudden,
things change.
You'll be micromanaged, and it was like this, there's a clash between you and the new manager, and you sort of just got to go.
And we're going to talk about that one in next steps, because it may not be that you need to leave or change jobs at that point. However, that is still in this list that we're talking about an indicator that it might be time to change jobs. What about requests not being met? So you say, hey, it's my turn to support the family. I want to do the drop off and pick up 2 days a week. Is that okay? And they say no.
No. Yeah.
So then you start to question, well, hang on a minute. I'm prepared to work 12 hours a day. If I need to, I will work outside of those times. And most people I know do. They never, ever take flexibility. They don't take it seriously. They take it very seriously, and they never, ever, not appreciate it. If your requests aren't being met, or you're being made to feel guilty because you need a day off to look after a sick child or care for somebody, or you're going through a personal issue, if you're not getting that support, then that might also be an indicator.
Yeah, because, your situation changes, and if you sort of go, hey, I want to work 9 days a fortnight, or I want to take salary sacrifice and have 12 weeks leave, and it's constantly being no, or, things aren't working with your health issues. I remember when I worked shift work, so I did shift work because you're in technology, I did shift work, I reckon, for about 8 years.
a long time.
And it is a long time. And especially when you're on night shift, your body, like you never sleep properly. And it got to the point where it was affecting my health. I just felt really tired. And I remember, going to my boss and saying, I
can't do this.
In a year's time, or I think it was 6 months or whatever, I said, I don't want to be working shift work. And I remember saying, please don't take this as a threat, but in a year's time, I will not be doing shift work. And I either get the opportunity here to do a job off shift or I will look for something else. And, they gave me the opportunity to, and that's when
off shift work.
That's when I actually changed my careers from going from IT, a computer operator into the learning and development area, looking after the training for them.
So that was a really great outcome, actually, from you speaking up and saying this ongoing expectation is not working for me. Another one, and probably our final one, though there may be other, I guess, red flags or indicators that it's time to change jobs, is when you're working for an organisation that isn't doing well and you can see why they're not doing well, or maybe you don't even know why they're not doing well, but you can see this isn't going to end well. You can see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
That too could be a perfect indicator. It's time to change jobs or careers.
Time to go. Or mind you, a lot of people in corporate can see things aren't going well and there's going to be job losses and they hang on because they hope
they might get a redundancy.
They hope they might get a redundancy.
Sure.
And, and that's a very
there's
valid,
nothing wrong with that if you've
point.
put in the time. Absolutely right. So keepers, as we were saying, those indicators, not learning, not getting promoted, you're not excited anymore, you're clashing and you don't respect your leader, you're overwhelmed, you're sort of heading toward burnout, there's a misalignment of cultural values, your requests aren't being met, particularly when it comes to flexibility, or you can see the writing on the wall. Of those, how many did you get right now? I can tell you, looking at those, I have experienced every single one of those at least once in my 25-year career in different roles.
Yeah. I remember the respecting the leader. I refused a job once because I got the job, but it was reporting into someone that I didn't respect.
Well done.
And I just declined the job.
Well done. That
because
takes a lot of confidence.
when I applied for it at the time, that leader wasn't in position, right? So I didn't know who the leader was going to be.
But once you knew, you
I just
made
declined.
The call. And the reason for that, Ral, was because you knew it wouldn't work out with that leader.
I just, it was one of those things where you go, oh God, I could not. I didn't respect them.
No.
And so, like,
how's that going to work?
How's that going to work?
It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
So and it'd be like you might not have all of them, but like you said, do this audit. And if you're ticking like
a lot of them,
2, 3, 4 of them, like need to have a look. It could be short. You might go, the only one I'm really ticking at the moment is I'm a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But you go, actually, because it's the end of a project and the project finishes at Christmas. Or we're short-staffed at the moment.
And they start in 2 weeks.
Exactly. And you can go, okay, this is short-term. Yeah.
It's contextual. I agree. So I think what we should do now is, is it time to change jobs? We've done this sort of quick list of indicators. One of the things one shouldn't do, I think, is react fast. In fact, they should
panic slowly.
My favourite 2 words, #panic slowly.
Is that your favourite 2 words? I disagree with that.
What are my favourite 2 words?
Chardonnay.
Drink wine. Okay, second favourite words. The point being, sometimes it's great to get off the dance floor and up on the balcony. Just step back, okay?
That's your favourite saying. You
That's
say that
another
a lot.
favourite saying. Well, it's a great visualisation, right?
And for those that don't know it, it's literally just don't react in the moment.
Get out of the weeds.
Take yourself out and up and just look at
an aerial view.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And I love the idea of a dance floor. Just quietly.
Like the idea of a murder on a dance floor.
Oh, stop it. Love that song. So panic slowly, stop and just step back. What are the pros and cons of your current role, and does that give you some sense of if it's time to change jobs? If the pros far outweigh the cons, then probably not. If the cons far outweigh the pros, go through and just analyze those cons a little bit, yeah? So to your point, if you're feeling overwhelmed, is it just a now thing?
Yep.
Or does that happen in every job? So no matter what job you go to next, it's going to happen again. So really self-audit here.
Really
self-analyze.
Please, I would hate anyone to be listening to this episode and they get to this point and go, right, that's it.
I'm out.
I'm resigning.
I'm done.
Now. Don't do that. Do not do that. So even, for example, when I shared the story about Steve, he knew it was time to go.
Yeah.
And we discussed this and we had a little 6 to 12 month plan for that to happen.
So what you did, another favourite quote of mine, move with strategy, not emotion. So easy to go, bugger you all, I'm out of here. I've never liked any of you anyway, and, you're all a pack of whatever. However, if you can actually just pull yourself aside and just give yourself a little talking to, panic slowly. It's a tight job market.
It is a very tight job market
Let me move with strategy, not emotion, and really figure out what to do next. One of the things you can do in your current scenario, while you might be going through a time of difficulty and you've recognised there's all these cons, is actually use this time to learn.
Yes.
And do some professional development.
Yeah.
Either within the company and on the company's time and money, or outside. Yeah. At night, online, weekends.
Yeah, yeah. And look, and that's the reality. If you go, yep, it is time to go, but I'm going to do a strategy, have a plan, and the plan might be a 6-month plan. What we're saying, in that time, there's things you can do.
So many things.
Take professional development, do some courses. We spoke about LinkedIn a couple of episodes ago.
We did.
Get on LinkedIn.
There's a heap of stuff on there.
Commenting, sharing.
That's it.
Reaching out to your network.
Right. So networking, so important. Do a stakeholder mapping exercise. Who are people I should be talking to? Who are people who should know me or remember me, or I should, be learning about in order to get myself set up for what could be next.
Yeah.
The other thing is when you go through your cons, and if one of the cons, might be something around, I don't respect my leader, I'm clashing with them. What about using this as an opportunity for a direct conversation with your leader? Yeah,
I was going to suggest that. I mean, it could be right at the moment you think it's time to go. I mean, maybe the first initial thing is to have that tough conversation to go, like I did, this is not working for me.
No.
And can we
this
find
is the night shift example? Yeah.
Can we find a way to make this work?
Yes.
And it could be around flexibility. It could be about feeling overwhelmed.
The type of work you're doing.
The type of work. I need a challenge.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm not growing.
Absolutely.
Put your hand. So all it could require is actually a conversation.
Absolutely. I remember going to a boss some years ago and saying, I'm really interested in that area over there.
Yep.
I still love my job, but I want to learn more about that area because I'd like to end up there. They said, I love this. Why don't we go and have a chat to that manager and we'll talk about how we might do a job share. So you get that learning. The company is going to benefit here and we get to keep you. So, a lot of people are reasonable about this stuff, and that was ages ago. I think they're more open to that sort of thing now. Yeah. So don't throw it out.
End of year, a lot of people might be having end of year performance appraisals right at this time. It's like, be clear. I would be saying, even if you're sort of only ticking one or two of those things where you go, it feels not right, like think forward 12 months and go, I'm interested in that area or whatever.
That's where I want to be.
I think first thing is has a conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
And one of the other things we highly, highly encourage, and Ral and I live this because we take a lot of them and because we can, and we often work when we're away as well, is have a good break. Take a bloody holiday. Yeah. Maybe you just need to remove yourself from your job, from your friends, from your home, from your city, from your state. Go and have a really great break. You might come back and find that actually it wasn't changing jobs I needed. I just needed a rest.
Yeah. Or, get a new haircut. They say a haircut's as good as a holiday.
Get a new haircut.
I guess it's a shit haircut. That's not good. But again, we're leading up to, a lot of people might be taking time off over the Christmas New Year's period. That could be a time to really assess what you're doing and do the audit. Or, if you can, it could be just a sizable break.
Yeah, a good break. So there you are. Is it time to change jobs? Hopefully you can answer that now that we've gone through this exercise. Good luck. And remember, work is a transaction, so changing is okay.
Yeah, changing. And I think what you said before at the start, it's like we could be working for 50 years.
It's the future of work.
And the future of work, which I'm sure we'll do an episode on.
We will.
Is,
It's going to look different.
The opportunities of different jobs are out there. So it's
exciting.
There's always going to be times where you want to leave.
Absolutely.
So that'd be good. And it's like going to the beach. Always best to leave 10 minutes early than 10 minutes late.
Is that right? I never knew that.
Yeah. You know when you go to the beach with the kids and then go, can we stay a bit longer? No, always leave 10 minutes. Easier. Better to leave 10 minutes early than 10 minutes late. Now, clearly I'm saying that is a metaphor for – because I'm saying that because if you stay in a job you hate –
I say that same about never stay later than you need to in a relationship, at the party or in a job. It's a great point.
If you are in a job that you hate and you're just staying there for whatever reason, I can guarantee you that one thing is suffering and it's your personal brand.
Couldn't agree more.
Because you won't be happy. You won't be given it 100%.
Or thriving. No, you're right. So is it time to change jobs? You tell us. Hopefully this has been helpful. Another great episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. And what do we want people to do, Ral?
5-star rating if you can, but also seriously share it. The best way you can help us and help your network and help the people you care about is share the episodes that are relevant to them. And
send us your messages. Like we read out before. We love hearing if you're getting something from us.
If it's a really nice one, we'll read it out. If it's bagginess, then we won't.
We won't read it out. We'll ignore it. Okay, Ral. See you soon.
Excellent. See you next week, keepers.
Bye.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keehlan Ferrari-Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.